Antonio starts right now.
Hi, good morning. It is Tuesday, October 11th.
We'll check on weather and traffic in just a bit, but first we want to get to an update on some late breaking news we first told you about towards the ends of our 6 a.m. newscast, if you were with us for that.
That's right, a huge mulch fire burning in New Braunfels this morning, and drivers seem to be most affected by this fire. It has shut down the section of what is usually a busy area for truck traffic. Katrina
Weber has been at the scene on Psalms Road and FM 482 and tells us that area could be closed for a while.
The New Braunfels Fire Department sent out some information this morning saying that they could be working here for 24 hours. Now, this mulch fire is at a business called Eggemeyer Land Clearing. It's been going on since about 1 o'clock, and firefighters have been making sure that it doesn't spread. You could see the glow, the orange glow of the flames clearly against the night sky. The drivers all the way on I-35 noticed this fire, and I'm sure many of them were curious about what was burning. According to the fire department, the fire broke out around 1 this morning in 2 piles of mulch at Eggemeyer Land Clearing. They were able to use front loaders and other heavy equipment to spread out that material and then put water on it, but they say they will have to let the fire burn itself out, and that could take a while. In the meantime, despite the way things have looked today, they tell us that there are no homes or anything that are in danger as a result of this fire, and there were no injuries reported. However, some drivers have been inconvenienced because of the road closure, and we understand again that this could be closed for a while. Reporting from New Braunfels, Katrina Weber, KSAT 12 News.
Thank you, Katrina. It's something that we are going to have to keep a close eye on as the hours do progress, but we do know that there's still some smoke billowing out there. I'll get our friends at TransGuide on the phone and see if we can actually get a shot again of the conditions, but we really want to show you a quick look around town. 281 at Encino Road. Things have quieted down here in town, and in fact, it has stayed quiet for most of the morning, but the big issue was obviously out toward 35 on those southbound lanes. Just take a look right there. That road has been closed already for several hours. Psalms Road, that's between FM 42 and Walled Road. That's why a portion of it is actually already in the red, because drivers, truckers particularly, can't navigate through there due to that fire that has been ongoing for several hours. I will get that shot on TransGuide here in just a minute or so, but we're going to have to watch the area closely. Just make sure to keep your eyes on the road as well. I have to take you back here into town because we did have a crash that was reported right there along Loop 1604 in the westbound lanes, not far from Northwest Military Highway. There was a big of a somewhat of a delay that was reported in the area, but it doesn't look like we're seeing that anymore. What we really are seeing is those eastbound lanes that are impacted, and that's probably due to some of the road work that we see out there. Let's give you a wide look at the map now at 9 a.m. As I mentioned, some of those slowdowns have already dwindled down, but we still see some crashes remain on the map. We have one just off of I-10 as you approach 410 on the east side, and on the far west side of 1604 looks like another crash popped up. I'll keep an eye on those conditions out there, but it looks like there could be a stalled vehicle at 410 at Culebra. We'll have a close eye on things, but as always, make sure you keep your eyes on the road as well. Guys.
Sounds good, Stephen. Looking out there with live cam, pretty nice. I went out to the car for my second dose of caffeine, and it was very, very nice out there.
That's right. Your coffee is in your trunk, right? Is that what I remember?
It's actually the front seat cup holder, but yeah.
Fair enough. That works. It was a nice morning. We're transitioning into a pretty hot period here, though, going forward. I'm going to warn you right now, temperatures are going to be plenty hot going into the next few days. There is some hope, though, on the horizon. Let's take a look at some of the headlines here. As we look at the time lapse, we had a good sunrise. We've had some clouds out there. We'll see some off and on clouds today. We'll call it mostly sunny to partly cloudy. You can see the clouds there that were hanging around this morning. Low 90s are back in the forecast, especially as we get into tomorrow. And we're going to combine that with humidity. Front number 1 comes through Wednesday night, Thursday morning. That takes away the humidity, but it's still hot. Our second front, though, this is Monday. It's promising. It's promising. I think we're going to get some rain with this, and hopefully some widespread rain and some cooler temperatures, too. I think that's what we've all been waiting for. We'll talk more about that a little bit later. 70 right now. Dew point is at 62. Easterly winds at 3 miles per hour. As we look at the satellite picture and radar, not a lot out there rain-wise. We did have some showers out west earlier this morning. Those have since dissipated. We've just got some clouds working through, and again, some off and on clouds today. Your KSAT 12-hour forecast, 82 degrees noontime. Look for a high near 88 this afternoon. With southerly winds 8 miles per hour, 8 to 10 miles per hour or so. And we'll get those higher dew points, so we'll have a little more humidity later today. Temperatures fall to 79 by 8 p.m. We've also got a developing system in the Gulf. Doesn't mean a lot for us, but I do want to show you that. Plus that second front, which could bring some changes. All of that coming up here in just a few minutes, guys.
Thank you. Top story this morning. A man is on his way to jail after a stabbing at a popular downtown area overnight. According to police, the man appeared to be drunk and got into an argument with 3 women at the McDonald's at the corner of Alamo Plaza and East Commerce.
Police say the man threw the women's purses and phones into the San Antonio River, and that's when another man standing by stepped in. The 2 men got in a fight, and police say the first man stabbed the other man twice in the back. That suspect was arrested, and the man stabbed refused medical treatment.
Let's get you caught up on some other headlines.
Today's 9 at 9.
The Uvalde School Board signed off on the retirement of Superintendent Hal Harrell. He's just the latest local official who's left their post after the deadly school shooting at Robb Elementary. The school board unanimously approved a motion to begin looking for a new superintendent. Harrell will continue at his post until a new superintendent can be found.
A student athlete at Our Lady of the Lake University was identified as one of 2 drivers killed in a head-on crash on Sunday. Angelina Martinez was a senior on the volleyball team. The crash happened early Sunday morning on Wurzbach Parkway. Right now, it's not clear which driver was at fault, but Martinez and the other driver involved in the crash both died.
Today is the last day to register to vote in the midterm elections in November. Right now on KSAT.com, you can check to see if you're registered or not. If you need to, we also have steps on how to do that. If you're voting by mail, the last day to apply for a ballot by mail is the 28th.
New fallout from that barrage of Russian missiles launched at several Ukrainian cities yesterday. Moscow says the attack was revenge for the destruction of a key bridge connecting Russia to Crimea. But many of the missiles hit civilian targets, some in the center of Ukraine's capital city. At least 12 people are dead and more than 60 are injured.
Family members, friends, and fans remembering actress Eileen Ryan. She died at her home Sunday, just over a week ahead of her 95th birthday. Her passing announced by the publicist of her son, actor Sean Penn. Ryan's career spanned decades, including roles in the movies Magnolia and I Am Sam. She also made several TV appearances.
Gas prices are on the rise again. A gallon of regular could hit $4 in most of the country this week. It is already there in a number of states, but the good news is that prices might not stay there long. The recent rise comes after news of OPEC's decision to cut production. But now that several West Coast refineries are up and running again, the price of gas in western states is already starting to fall.
A crippling nationwide railroad strike is possible again, with track maintenance workers rejecting a 5-year deal. Their union saying it didn't do enough on paid time off and working conditions. They've agreed to keep working for now, so there's no immediate threat of a walkout. 4 other rail unions have approved the agreement, but all 12 unions have to sign on.
Black Friday may be more than a month away, but sales are already starting. Target, Walmart, and Amazon rolling out holiday deals this week. Most retailers are inundated with too much inventory this year as inflation squeezes shoppers. Morgan Stanley saying profits will drop as companies try to cut prices faster than their competitors.
Many big businesses are getting the best of both worlds, raising prices amid soaring inflation and not getting much pushback from consumers. The operator of Olive Garden and Longhorn Steakhouse told the Wall Street Journal it expects profit margins to stay above pre-pandemic levels with the help of price hikes. And that's today's 9 at 9. In your morning headlines, Halloween celebrations being canceled at some schools and a first day of school for a shooting victim in Chicago.
Plus, a breast cancer survivor gets a warm welcome from a Southwest Airlines crew and an inspirational 7th grader overcoming a disability to play the sport he loves. David Sears is here. The stories?
Like inspirational morning headlines. Several of those, so we'll get to those in just a second. We're going to start with this. For the first time in a couple of years, kids can actually put on those costumes and go trick-or-treating. However, there are schools across the country that have been scared away from Halloween celebrations. A school district in Pennsylvania will not have a celebration because of safety concerns. That ends a 50-year tradition. There was a shooting death outside a football stadium. A 14-year-old was killed. In Ohio, 3 people hurt outside a stadium. That's one reason, but a spokesperson for the district says they are also canceling their Halloween party because the kids who don't celebrate Halloween had to sit in the library, and that is not inclusive. It is also happening in places like Seattle and Michigan.
That felt a little exclusionary. It didn't really feel like it was generating that sense of belonging that we hope to have in our schools.
It's one day. They have lots of lots of different celebrative days, you know, dress-up days, school spirit days, and what's wrong with the Halloween day?
Another concern for parents this year who will let their kids go door to door, fentanyl. So as always, check your kids' candy to make sure it looks right. How about that smile right there from that young fella, huh? That is a young fella in a wheelchair. It is 18-year-old Cooper Roberts, and that is his twin brother standing behind him. Cooper finally got to go back to school, and he is so excited. Cooper was one of the victims of that 4th of July parade shooting that killed 7 people. A gunman opened fire from the roof of a building in the Chicago suburb of Highland Park. Folks enjoying the parade were shot. Cooper was in critical condition, and there was fear he wouldn't make it, but he pulled through. He will start to go back to school on a limited basis since he is confined to that wheelchair. He was happy about seeing his classmates again, but a little bummed that he couldn't do much on the playground. He's 8. He's going to figure all that out, you know for sure. All right, it is Breast Cancer Awareness Month. How about another story of survival? That is Gerald Odom. She is a mother of 3 from Utah. She took on stage 2 breast cancer and won. Her family with her the whole way through hair loss and chemo. They also had different ways of encouraging her. The final way was waiting for her victory over cancer was a trip to Hawaii. She rang the bell, then eventually boarded a flight, and then was recognized by the Southwest pilot for winning the battle and inspiring others.
I would like to add a special welcome to a special guest in today's flight. We have a passenger who's headed to Hawaii with us today to celebrate her victory over late-stage breast cancer. So we're please join me in giving her, Gerald Odom, a round of applause.
You're not alone. There are so many people out there who are rooting for you, and that helps you to be so much stronger than you ever thought you could be.
Great story of overcoming the odds. And finally, here is another story of overcoming the odds. This is Thaddeus Longmire. And your eyes don't deceive you. He was born without arms, but still living out his dream, playing football. He is a tight end on the 7th grade football team in Cedar Rapids, Iowa. He is relegated to blocking, or in his case, just try to make sure he gets in the way of defenders. When he gets knocked down, pops right back up. Thad knows he will never score a TD, but he will be there when a teammate does.
Kind of hard to score a touchdown because I can't hold the ball really, so can't really like score a touchdown, but maybe like blocking to get a touchdown.
Takes a lot of pride in seeing his teammates have that success, and he's a selfless person. He doesn't care if he scores the touchdown. He wants the team to get the touchdown.
He inspires me to go 100%, even though I know he can't do as many things that I can do. His heart's probably the size of the earth. It's really amazing.
So did you see on that one play, he had the kid go outside and then his running back went inside. So see, got the guy some space. After the game, his teammates help him take off his helmet and pads, and of course, more life lessons for 7th graders.
Oh my goodness.
How sweet that is. Huh?
Well-spoken 7th graders there too.
Great stuff.
Back to the Southwest flight to Hawaii. I rarely get teary, but you got me on that one.
Yeah.
Did we?
That was sweet.
Yeah.
And she was surprised.
Yeah, that's the best part.
Yes,
Good to
sir.
hear.
All right.
Thank you, David.
Thank you.
9/11, about 70 degrees still ahead on GMSA at 9.
Our Hispanic Heritage Month celebrations continue, and one local leader for Mexican-American civil rights is sharing his thoughts as we get closer to the November midterm elections.
Plus, people in Florida continue to pick up the pieces of their lives after Hurricane Ian hit almost 2 weeks ago. And for some, rebuilding is going to cost them much more than they ever imagined. Well, some residents are learning the hard way about hurricane insurance. Welcome back, 9:15. It's been nearly 2 weeks since Hurricane Ian slammed into Florida's southwestern coastline. And for many, the cleanup is just beginning.
While some schools opened for the first time yesterday, others will remain closed for at least another week. And some residents in the Fort Myers area were able to return to their homes for the first time over the weekend since the monster storm hit.
CNN's Jen Sullivan looks at the ongoing cleanup efforts in Florida.
Mangled metal, broken furniture, and piles of debris lined this street in Fort Myers, Florida, as people clean up the damage from Hurricane Ian.
You go down the road here, there's people that have nothing.
Nearly 2 weeks after the monster storm slammed into Florida's southwestern coast, Tom Delforge finally returned to his home. Much of the furniture on the first floor was ruined, and mud marks line the walls showing how high the water rose.
I just couldn't imagine this.
While the damage is devastating, even worse could be the bill to fix it. FEMA funding will bring some relief, but insurance companies may not cover all the costs.
I thought hurricane insurance covered surge because that's part of a hurricane. It does not.
Meanwhile, in Sarasota County, some schools finally opened their doors Monday after crews worked around the clock to fix the damage.
We fully realize that this is a time of transition, rebuilding, and recovery.
It could take several more days for other schools to reopen. Many buildings suffering severe water damage and loss of power.
Our team is providing increased emotional supports at our schools.
At least 125 lives lost in the Southeast, with most of them in Florida. And that number could rise as dive crews search cars and homes still submerged in water. I'm Jen Sullivan reporting.
As you may have seen here on KSAT 12, we've been talking about meteorologist Adam Caskey being in Florida helping out his in-laws in Fort Myers. Finally headed back towards Texas, I understand.
Yeah, he made his way back yesterday, and he said the devastation there was just incredible. And there's still so much to do.
I saw a video of him pulling drywall, so all that's got to come out.
And that's just the start of it. There's so much more on top of that folks are going to have to contend with.
And insurance and everything.
Oh, man, a lot of paperwork. We feel for everyone out there. It's going to be a long road. You know, one thing we're dealing with here is the lack of water, of course. And I want to show you where we are as far as stages go. If you're a SAWS customer, you're in stage 2. So we've been able to stay in stage 2 despite these drought conditions. Which is once a week watering. But New Braunfels stage 3 since June, and that's once every other week, I believe, watering. And then the Edwards Aquifer went back into stage 4 yesterday for permit holders. That's not SAWS customers, permit holders. And we look at Comal Springs stream flow, and it's the lowest it's been since 2014. So rain is what we need. And here, let's look at the rain chances over the next 7 days or so. And what you'll notice is we have a very small chance Wednesday with a front. 30% chance, though, Monday, and that's kind of what we're putting our hopes on right now with our second front. Look, I hope as we get closer we can raise the rain chances. It looks promising for maybe some widespread rain. Let's see as we get a little bit closer, as we can sort of hone in on the details there, and we'll certainly let you know. We don't want to get too excited yet, but it's looking better and better. As we go outside for you, we've got partly cloudy skies at the airport, 70 degrees. Dew point is at 62, so that number's up a little bit with easterly winds at about 3 miles per hour. Clouds off to our west. You can see the cloud deck there. We see some clouds out across the Rio Grande, and that's where they've had some showers again this morning. We saw that yesterday. We'll see a little bit more of that again today. And then as you go east to San Antonio, it's mostly clear. We're seeing a lot of sun, and temperatures at this hour, 71 in New Braunfels, 68 Seguin, 72 Gonzales, 70 down in Pleasanton, 69 in Canyon Lake. And the big picture here, we've got some showers up across the Red River, moving into parts of Oklahoma. Again, a few showers out in Mexico, but just not a lot here. There is a storm system that is starting to pull away, and that's taking a lot of the rain with it. So as we look at our forecast here, not a chance of rain today. We'll just see those partly cloudy skies. But as we get into tomorrow, there will be some clouds early, and then by the afternoon hours, say 5 o'clock, we may start to see a shower or two pop up. It's going to be few and far between, 10% chance of rain. And then that front tries to slide through. This is around 10 o'clock, shows a few showers right along the front, and then maybe a few more around midnight, starting to push south to San Antonio. We're not going to get much rain out of this front. But what we will see is some drier air. Dew points will start to plummet behind the front. We'll see dew points in the 40s as we head into Thursday morning. And most of Thursday will be dry. We'll see dew points in the 40s, maybe even some 30s, with some gusty winds. There could be a little bit of a fire threat on Thursday, something we'll watch, although winds don't look terribly strong. And even with that front, high temperatures stay warm. We're going 92 Wednesday, 91 Thursday, 90 on Friday. That's behind the front. It'll be a dry heat, but still hot. 91 Saturday, 89 Sunday, but look at Monday. We mentioned the rain chances. How about some cooler air, too? That sounds great. Right now, we're forecasting 79 for a high Monday. Very quickly, I got to show you this, too. We've got a developing system potentially here in the Gulf of Mexico. Do we need to worry about this? No, it does not appear we will. This probably stays to the south, probably falls apart, but it will bring some moisture to parts of Mexico And there is a potential that some of this moisture could get pulled up into Texas at some point, as we mentioned early next week, with some of those rain chances. So that'll be something else to watch. 92 Wednesday, there's that front, 10% chance of rain, low humidity Thursday, Friday. The weekend will be hot and probably somewhat humid too. And then we watch Monday, because I think that could be the day when we finally see some changes that we've all been hoping for.
He came back.
Yeah.
To the desk.
I did. I remember this time.
We're
I didn't get lost in the studio.
Good to have you.
Yes. Yeah.
And also the cool front coming for Monday.
The fronts still look really good.
Yeah.
Yes.
And
Excited.
any rain would be awesome.
Anything we can get.
Yes, sir.
Yep.
Right now, 921, 71 degrees.
And he fought for Mexican-American civil rights in the 60s, and now he's hoping to share an important message with a new generation. Why he says it's vital that young voters today pay close attention to what's going on in the world around them.
The piñata has become a mainstay of Hispanic celebrations or fiestas, but many probably don't know how that tradition began. The origin of the piñata is believed to have started when Marco Polo discovered the Chinese creating figures of cows and buffaloes adorned with colorful paper to celebrate the new year. When the custom spread to Spain, the first Sunday in Lent was celebrated with the dance of the piñata. Back then, the piñatas were made of clay, and later colorful paper, ribbons, and tinsel were added. As part of the religious celebrations, the person hitting the piñata was blindfolded, which symbolized faith-defying evil. And one of the more traditional shapes is the seven-pointed Sputnik, with each point representing one of the seven deadly sins. Today, piñatas are made of paper mache, come in many different shapes and colors, and are stuffed with toys and sweet treats.
We continue to celebrate Hispanic Heritage Month this week, and this morning we're talking about a man who won many legal battles over Mexican-American civil rights decades ago, some that went all the way to the United States Supreme Court.
Jesse Degollado spoke with Rolando Rios, who says that even though times have changed, he believes young Latinos should learn from the past now more than ever, especially with elections coming up.
They tried to catch the spirit.
These are more than photos on a wall. They're milestones in the life of Rolando Rios and lessons, he says, not to be forgotten, especially now.
You cannot take things for granted because it is a precarious democracy is a precarious system.
But he says protecting civil rights these days isn't what it used to be in the 60s at the height of the movement. Rios says misinformation permeates the internet and social media, questioning the integrity of elections. So seeking out the truth, he says, is vital.
To listen to what's going on, pay attention, and make sure you make intelligent votes.
Yet those who did back then, he says, had little chance of their votes being counted fairly.
Because we were a minority, the majority won everything.
Until a U.S. Supreme Court ruling led to the creation of single-member districts. That, says Rios, was his biggest legal victory.
Well, I'm proud of it because it had a ripple effect.
Rios says he's encouraged by a new generation of Latinos, like these students registering voters at St. Mary's University. Yet he says he still worries about others who may say they've made it, so why should they worry about voting rights?
You take something for granted, and before you know it, you lose it.
Jesse Degollado, KSAT 12 News.
927, 72 degrees. There is more ahead on GMSA at 9.
Including a cheating scandal in what is supposed to be an innocent competition, what organizers found during the Fat Bear Week contest, and what's being done now.
But before we get to that story, we told you about the latest in Uvalde in today's 9 at 9. But after the break, Lee Waldman gives us a look at what was said in the boardroom during last night's meeting. Emotions continue to run high in Uvalde after last night's school board meeting and the retirement of Superintendent Dr. Hal Harrell.
Lee Waldman was in Uvalde for that meeting and shares with us how the tensions between Harrell supporters and Robb Elementary victims' families boiled outside of the boardroom.
Just to show that we love him and that we support him.
I don't know any other outlet that they had that was that true and honest and just a good man who truly wanted to do the right thing.
Tiffany Massey and Nicole Ogburn are both teachers with Uvalde CISD. They taught 4th grade at Robb Elementary and were there on May 24th. They were two in a crowd showing support for Superintendent Dr. Hal Harrell as the school board accepted his retirement.
Change protocol. I think we need to change laws. We need to quit pointing fingers and blame, and we need to start moving on and just fixing the laws and protocols.
Meanwhile, families of the victims and their supporters quietly filed inside the small Benson boardroom, as they have done for 4.5 months.
21 murdered teachers and students wasn't enough for outrage. To outrage our Uvalde strong community, but your retirement is. You are very blessed.
Kimberly Rubio tearfully spoke about how Harold is the one who handed her diploma and put students first, reminding everyone the families never asked that he resign. She spoke about the hurt caused by the community directing hatred towards grieving families over a decision Harold stated he made himself.
How dare you decide now when a job is at stake to come together, but you stay home? Because we, the families, have been demanding transparency and accountability. How dare you attack those of us who lost our children in the worst way possible?
Kimberly and Felix walked out. They were met outside, but what appeared to be a pushback from supporters of Harold. Some putting the responsibility on Harold to reunite Uvalde.
Dr. Harold can take us a long way in bringing this community back together.
Lee Waldman, KSAT 12 News.
And the school board voted unanimously to approve the search for a replacement superintendent. In a statement on Facebook posted by Dr. Harold's wife, in his words, he wrote, he'll remain in the position through the end of the year until a new superintendent is named.
Now the news reaction continues to pour in for that teen shot by an officer at a San Antonio McDonald's parking lot last week. Act for SA is a local group known to push for police reform. They're calling for charges against former SAPD officer James Brennan, who shot 17-year-old Eric Cantu. In a statement, the group said in part, quote, while Officer Brennan has been relieved of his position as an SAPD officer, he still remains a free man while Eric remains hospitalized in intensive care. The district attorney has said he is waiting until San Antonio police complete their own investigation, but Act for SA says they're concerned the investigation could take too long. Cantu was eating a hamburger in his car when Brennan is seen telling him to get out of the vehicle. The car is then put into reverse and Brennan fires several rounds. Charges were dropped against Cantu to allow his family to visit him in the hospital.
And today will be day 2 of a capital murder trial for a woman accused of killing her 4-year-old daughter back in 2017. Erica Hernandez is covering the trial and shares how opening statements yesterday give us a glimpse at how this trial is shaping up.
Jessica Briones took her daughter, 4-year-old Olivia Briones, to SAPD's Prue substation on September 5, 2017. Unresponsive. This body cam footage from that day shown in court to the jury. The child died a day later at University Hospital, and Jessica was charged with her death. Numerous injuries found on Olivia's body were described to the jury. Some of those injuries doctors believe could have been older, way before her death.
Doctors noticed she's got numerous scars. She's got injuries to her ears, and she appears malnourished.
The prosecution told jurors that doctors and the medical examiner later determined Olivia had injuries throughout her body and several head injuries.
All the other evidence you have will show you that the one person that could have done this, the one person who had sole care and access to Olivia, and the one person with a litany of excuses that doesn't add up is Jessica Briones.
Meanwhile, the defense says Jessica is wrongfully accused and that the detective on the case got it wrong.
Children that are accident prone, in this case, the mother is also a bit accident prone. She can't explain it, but that doesn't mean that she's guilty of beating this child to death.
The defense also says they have their own theory as to what happened, and they will reveal that later in the trial. If found guilty, Jessica Briones faces up to life in prison. At the Kidena Reeves Justice Center, Erica Hernandez, KSAT 12 News.
Right now it's 9:36. This is the 25-year-old who was killed in a shooting a week ago after a group of teens mistook her house for another one they were planning to shoot up. Friends releasing this picture of Novita, Brazil. Police arrested 17-year-old Johnny Bermea and 4 other suspects in connection with the shooting. Doorbell video shows 2 teens believed to be the intended targets. According to an affidavit, they were hiding behind a neighbor's car moments before opening fire on another vehicle doing a drive-by rather. The teens in the video just 14 and 15 years old. They, along with Bermea, are facing charges of deadly conduct with a firearm. The gunfire leaving residents rattled.
felt like we had just been in the middle of a battle.
Not my next door neighbors, but the neighbors to the left of us, their vehicle got hit, their house got hit. And that's only 2 houses away from mine.
Bexar County deputies say the teens in the car are also 14 and 15. They were arrested the night of the shooting. The car they were in was reported stolen. They're facing charges of murder and assault, and last check were being held at the Bexar County Juvenile Detention Center.
And taking a look outside with a live cam, starting off nice. You know, we started in the 60s, now in the 70s, and we'll be climbing to the 80s, but I hear things will get even warmer later in the week.
There's going to be a lot of 90s on the map during the next 5 days or so. We have some relief down the line, but next several days are going to be plenty warm. I want to start with a picture, though, on a KSAT Connect. This is cool. What are you looking at? You're asking? That is a chrysalis, I believe, butterfly in the making, if you will. That's out of Carrizo Springs. It says beauty in progress. I'll agree with that. That is a great shot. You got to get really zoomed in to catch that. Very nicely done. We appreciate the pictures as always on our KSAT Connect. Pollen count, ragweed, moderate, 190. It's still in the moderate levels. Mold, low. Pigweed, low. Pigweed showed up for the first time today. And as we look at the dew point trend over the next 7 days or next 6 days, and this will really tell the story. Fairly humid today and tomorrow, but the dew points drop off. A lot of dry air behind a frontal boundary that comes through on Thursday. We're going to get another front on Monday, too. This one actually brings some cooler air and some chances of rain with it. So the KSAT 12-hour forecast, 82 degrees noontime, partly cloudy today, 88 your high temperature. We'll get a southerly breeze anywhere from 5 to 15 miles per hour. We'll dip into the 70s by 8 p.m. this evening, guys.
Thank you, Justin. Now to an update we first told you about right here on GMSA at 9 last week. There has been a voting scandal surrounding the Fat Bear Week Challenge.
David Sears is here to break it all down. David?
What's happening, David?
It's just hard to bear the fact that this could actually happen. So you guys now remember the Fat Bear Week Challenge. 2 parks going head-to-head to see which one would have the fattest bear heading into hibernation. Folks could vote on their favorite big bear. One of the parks was in Alaska. Organizers have apparently discovered a little cheating going on. They have found thousands of fake votes for the bear they thought won on Sunday. So the park in Alaska had to overturn the results between Bear 747 and Holly. They had to take away more than 7,000 votes from Holly, and that meant that 747 was declared the winner. That bear will take on the winner of the other national parks winner in the finals. By the way, 747 was seen down by the river going hog wild on fish. Authorities estimate he weighs about 1,400 pounds. This scandal, of course, conjures up comments about the 2020 election. We're not going there. Use your own imagination. Tweet whatever you want. Not getting involved in that. But it's unbelievable that there's a barely scandal.
And that they would pad the votes by 7,000 in something as trivial as this. Oh, boy.
Well, I don't think the bears are too upset about it.
Yeah.
No, not the one eating all that fish. He's happy.
No kidding.
Man, I'm fat and happy, ready for hibernating.
Thanks for sticking to the facts and stories, otherwise known as the Bear Necessities. David Sears. 9:40, 72 degrees. You're watching GMSA at 9.
And if you haven't already, right now might be a good time to start your holiday shopping. Which retailers are already giving shoppers discounts and what you can expect to see savings on in stores?
Okay, remember, we're just the messengers here. Only 75 days until Christmas, and retailers are not waiting until Black Friday to dish out the deals.
That's right. This holiday season, shoppers could see a big increase in discounting, and that's due to inventory growth and a decrease in supply chain issues, plus the pinch on everyone's wallets these days.
According to Adobe Analytics, the biggest discounts could be in electronics and also in toys. Well, today and tomorrow, Amazon is offering 2 days of Prime Day holiday deals. I've already seen some online. I've already got you some new luggage stuff.
Oh, awesome.
I don't know where you're going, but I got you some new luggage.
I'll go somewhere then. Okay. Meanwhile, at Target, deal days are already underway, and they are also offering its holiday price match guarantee now through December 24th. That means if any item goes on sale after you buy at Target, we'll match the price and refund you the difference.
And if you're starting your holiday shopping already, experts recommend making a list of who you're buying gifts for and decide how much you're willing to spend on those gifts to avoid overspending and also some of the headaches. And Stephanie's notoriously tricky, so I thought luggage was safe.
Yeah, that's a good call.
I was just waiting for you to say, is there a subtle message in there about getting luggage?
Go on a trip. No, that's okay. I'm waiting for my Halloween gift first.
Oh,
wow.
Yeah.
Okay, gotcha. All right, still have a little bit of time there.
Not much.
Not at all. How are we looking out there? I haven't been outside yet. You went out between newscasts.
It was nice.
They don't let me out much during the day, so I trust you. 73 looks pretty good.
It was nice. It was nice.
It is nice. We've got some clouds trying to shift in. It is going to be a little warm this afternoon. I'll caution you there. In fact, this whole work week is going to be warm. We've got temperatures in the 90s headed our way. Let's take a look at the time lapse, and you'll see how it sort of evolved this morning. We had clouds early. Now we've got some mostly clear skies. I think we probably go partly cloudy this afternoon. 70 right now, and easterly winds at about 3 miles per hour. Temperatures around the area, 69 in Del Rio, a little bit more cloud cover out there, 69 Uvalde, but 76 Gonzales, 74 Beeville. You'll find more sun actually east of San Antonio. And a little closer look here at Bexar County, 70 to 71 degrees, and we'll see these numbers jump up pretty quickly with the mostly sunny skies that we have right now. We're forecasting 88 degrees later today, 88 in Elmendorf, 88 Seguin, 88 popular number there. That'll be the high in New Braunfels as well. There's like the cloud cover, and you can see it's generally west of San Antonio. But some of these clouds are trying to work into town probably a little bit later this morning. There are some showers associated with these clouds, but that's in Mexico. A few of these showers may try to work towards Eagle Pass or Del Rio this afternoon, much like yesterday, but everyone else has a dry forecast. And there's a little closer look at the cloud cover here around San Antonio. Some passing clouds just at the moment. And the big picture, we see some showers along the frontal boundary up across parts of Oklahoma, some rain north of Dallas, and that extends up into the Midwest. Temperature-wise, 70s and 80s here across East Texas. Then you find some of the cooler stuff, as you might imagine, up across the Texas Panhandle, 57 Lubbock, 58 Amarillo. Then it gets really chilly as you get up into the mountains. So 56 Denver, 51 Casper. It is 36 up in Cut Bank. So this is some of the cooler air trying to work south. This is not a big cold air mass, but we talked about this first front's just going to pretty much draw in some drier air. It's a second front that does actually draw in some cooler air, we think, by early next week, and some rain chances too. So that's the positive news in today's forecast. As we look at the rain chances here, nothing this afternoon, but as we get into tomorrow, we start off with clouds, so it's cloudy to start your Wednesday, then partly cloudy in the afternoon, and then we add in a 10% chance of rain by, say, dinner time. 1 or 2 showers. This is not going to be anything significant, and then that frontal boundary slides through and brings with it, again, a 10% chance of rain around midnight. It's not really the rain that's a big deal with this front. It is the drier air that moves in Thursday. We see dew points plummet into the 40s. That is definitely in the dry category, and that sticks with us through most of the day on Thursday before dew points start to jump back up by Friday, and we see humidity return by the weekend. I said it was going to be hot all week. Temperatures are well above average. 92 Wednesday, 91 Thursday, 90 Friday, 91 Saturday. We go 89 Sunday, but it's Monday. Monday that we're all watching because we get a frontal boundary in here. We got an upper level low off to the west. We could see some Pacific moisture mix in here. All the time he's got to kind of come together, but if it does, we should see some cooler temperatures and some decent chances for rain, and that's what we've all been waiting on. So 88 degrees today, 92 tomorrow, probably one of our hottest days. Front comes through, 10% chance of rain. Then we get some low humidity Thursday, Friday. Temperatures are still in the 90s, though, so this front doesn't cool us down. It just dries us out. 91 Saturday, 89 Sunday. I think late on Sunday we could see a couple of isolated showers or storms, and then a 30% chance of rain on Monday with that next front. Right now, I'm going 79 for a high, which is a huge change from what we've seen really, well, for a long time.
That's not a whopper of a front, but enough to make a bit of a difference.
Well, and I don't think it's going to be just a ton of cold air, but if we get clouds and we get rain, that'll keep temperatures down, and that's kind of the idea. But I think we'll take any sort of cool down at this point.
Right, especially after hitting 90.
Pretty much, yeah.
Thanks, Justin.
About 10 till 10, 73 degrees.
And the cost of holiday travel could shoot up this week as we approach Thanksgiving, but will a ticket you buy now be worth it? Well, the answer is coming up.
Experts believe the cost of holiday travel will shoot up this week as the Thanksgiving rush gets closer.
The big question is if that ticket you pay for will be worth it after the cancellations we saw this summer. CNN's Pete Montine has a breakdown.
Thanksgiving travel is about to take off, and it will be the most expensive of the last 5 years. Travel site Hopper says tickets will cost 19% more compared to last year. The average domestic round-trip ticket, $274.
This Thanksgiving will be a very expensive holiday to travel, especially for travelers who are booking late.
Now the pressure is on airlines to avoid a meltdown like this summer when they canceled a total of 55,000 flights. Federal data shows 40% of all the cancellations were for reasons that the airlines could control, not weather.
It is abundantly clear that the majority of delays rest with the airlines.
While airlines insist the blame is on the understaffed air traffic control centers.
In the summer, we had shortages almost every day, and they can lead to hundreds of cancellations and delays.
Hiring is ramping up. The FAA is bringing on new air traffic controllers. American Airlines has hired more than 1,400 new employees since Labor Day. United has added more than 1,500 new pilots this year, and there are 3,000 new flight attendants at Southwest.
We're certainly with you. We're pushing on our airlines to not overpromise in the schedule so that we can actually deliver what we're selling to you.
Even still, carriers are cutting their fall schedules, a move Delta called a huge improvement in curbing summer cancellations and delays. Industry data shows American Airlines dropped 31,000 placeholder flights from its November schedule. For travelers, it all adds up to a travel season with fewer options and higher prices.
We're expecting to see chaos at the airports over the holidays, but American travelers have shown that they're resilient and they're willing to pay more and experience these disruptions to get back to see family and friends after 2 years of depressed travel.
That was Pete Montine reporting. Another risk of waiting too long to buy your ticket isn't just higher ticket prices.
Experts say the flights you want could also be sold out.
Well, looking ahead to tomorrow at GMSA at 9, Science with Sarah is back. At this time, Sarah and David will be out at Southwest ISD at an elementary school doing a cool experiment with the kiddos there.
So the students are learning about circuits, and tomorrow's experiment will be all about electrical energy. So tune in tomorrow on GMSA at 9 for Science with Sarah.
Get a final look at weather with Justin Horn.
I got a sneak peek of that experiment. It's pretty cool. You're going to want to check it out. 88 degrees today, 92 tomorrow. Small chance of some showers. As the front comes through, you won't really notice it temperature-wise, but you will notice the lower humidity by Thursday and Friday. We're still watching for early next week for some better chances of rain.
A couple more things before we say goodbye. If you're looking to try your luck at Lotto, next Mega Millions drawing will take place tonight.
The jackpot has now reached $445 million, or a $226 million cash payout. That's a lot. If a winner is drawn tonight, this will be the 12th largest jackpot in the game's 20-year history.
Last jackpot won on July 29th was nearly $1.4 billion. If you can believe it, that was the second largest prize in Mega Millions history.
And a quick heads up, the San Antonio Police Department's bomb squad unit will be doing some training detonations today beginning at 10 a.m. until 2 p.m. So don't be alarmed if you hear some loud noises on the south side of town.
They'll be doing training at their facility off 410 and Morrison Boulevard. So again, don't be alarmed if you hear what sounds like explosions. Training in progress.
That's right, 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. For now, thanks for joining us.
Yeah, have a great rest of the morning.
Bye, guys.